All right, hey everyone, are you ready for another deep dive? Today, we're looking at the Ledger Flex.
Oh, yeah. The new hardware wallet everyone's been talking about.
Exactly. It seems like all over crypto Twitter, everyone's buzzing about the Ledger Flex.
Yeah, the touchscreen, right. That's the big selling point.
Well, that and just the overall design. It looks pretty slick, right?
Yeah, definitely a step up from like the classic Ledger Nano look.
So, for this deep dive, you guys sent us a couple of YouTube videos, right?
Right. We've got that hands-on review from the Crypto Gateway. He always does a good job.
Yeah, he does. And, he even put a camel picture on his Flex. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Pretty funny.
And then we got the Crypto Dad's take on Ledger's December deals. Apparently, there were some pretty good offers right now.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like a Bitcoin bonus if you buy a Flex.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So we're going to break it all down for you today.
Yeah, figure out if the Flex is really worth all the hype.
Exactly. Should you ditch your Nano X? Or is it all just smoke and mirrors?
A lot of questions to answer.
Yeah, we'll see. So let's kick things off with the Crypto Gateway's review. He seems pretty excited about the Flex right out of the box.
Touchscreen.
Yeah, he's all about that touchscreen. Thinks it's a total game changer for hardware wallets.
I wonder about that though. Touchscreens. Aren't they more vulnerable to, attacks?
That's a good point. We'll have to dig into the security aspect a bit later.
Definitely.
But the Crypto Gateway, he also points out that the Flex is a bit heavier than the Nano X.
Like how much heavier are we talking?
He says it's 57.5 grams versus 34 grams for the Nano X.
Okay, so not a huge difference, but you definitely notice it in your pocket, I guess.
Yeah, if you're carrying it around all the time. And it's got that e-ink display, which is, kind of like a Kindle.
On, right?
Yeah, always on. And it's supposed to be really easy to read, even in sunlight.
That's cool. I could see that being useful, if you're checking your balance on the go or something.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, let's talk about the setup process. How user-friendly is this thing?
Well, the Crypto Gateway makes it look pretty easy.
Yeah.
But, he's a tech guy. So for someone who's new to hardware wallets, it might be a bit more challenging.
Okay, so what are the main steps involved?
Well, first you got to set up a PIN, to protect the device.
Right, standard procedure.
And then, of course, the most important part, generating your seed phrase.
Yeah, that 24-word recovery phrase. Got to keep that safe.
Absolutely. If you lose that, you're in trouble.
No kidding. So once you've got all that set up, you can start loading up apps, right?
Yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum come pre-installed, which is nice.
Makes sense. Those are the big two.
Right. But the storage space is apparently limited. Like, you can only install about 10 apps in total.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, that's what the Crypto Gateway says.
So if you've got, like, a bunch of different altcoins, you're going to be in trouble.
You'd have to constantly uninstall and reinstall apps, which is not ideal.
Yeah, that sounds like a pain. So the touchscreen might be convenient, but the limited storage could be a deal breaker for some people.
It depends on your crypto habits, I guess.
Right. If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you're probably fine.
Exactly. But if you're more of an altcoin explorer,
you might run into some issues.
Yeah.
So what about connectivity? How do you actually use the Flex with your phone or computer?
It's got Bluetooth and USB-C, so you've got options.
Okay, that's good. So you can use it on the go or at your desk.
Yep. Pretty flexible, you could say.
All right, so we've talked about the touchscreen, the setup, the storage, the connectivity, but let's be real. How much does this thing cost?
Yeah, that's the big question.
The Crypto Gateway's chart shows it's €249.
Whoa. That's a lot more than the Nano X.
Yeah, the Nano X is €149.
So you're paying a premium for that touchscreen, huh?
That's what it seems like. So the question is it worth it?
Good question. We'll have to see what the Crypto Dad thinks about those December deals.
Yeah, maybe that Bitcoin bonus will make the Flex a bit more appealing.
Maybe. But before we get into that, I think we should take a quick break.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's give our listeners a chance to catch their breath. We'll be right back.
All right, so those December deals, huh?
Yeah, the Crypto Dad, he definitely made them sound pretty tempting.
Especially for the Flex.
Yeah, I mean, a $70 Bitcoin bonus just for buying a hardware wallet, that's pretty hard to pass up.
It is. It is. Makes you wonder if they're trying to push the Flex,
Maybe. But hey, free Bitcoin is free Bitcoin.
True. But he also mentioned deals on the Nano X and the Nano S Plus.
Yeah, he did. So it's not like they're only focusing on the Flex.
Right. So there are options for different budgets, which is good.
Definitely. But, going back to the Flex for a second, there's something that the Crypto Gateway mentioned that I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
NFC. He said the Flex has NFC capability.
He did. Didn't really go into detail, though.
Yeah, he didn't. So I was wondering, how would that even work with a hardware wallet?
Well, I imagine it would be for, quick transactions,
Okay, so instead of plugging it in or connecting via Bluetooth, you could just tap it to your phone.
Exactly. Super convenient.
Yeah, it does sound convenient. But isn't NFC, notoriously insecure?
It can be, yeah. But if Ledger is implementing it, I'm sure they've thought about the security implications.
They'd have to, right? I mean, their whole reputation is built on security.
Exactly. So I'm curious to see how they've addressed those concerns.
Me too. Maybe they've implemented transaction limits for NFC.
Yeah.
So you can only send small amounts that way.
Yeah, that would make sense. Or maybe some kind of two-factor authentication.
Yeah, something like that. So NFC on a hardware wallet, it's definitely an interesting development.
Definitely. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see how it all plays out.
Exactly. All right, so we've talked about the good, the bad, the potentially ugly, but I think it's time for the big question.
Hit me with it.
Is the Ledger Flex worth it?
Dude, that's a tough one. I mean, it's got that sleek design, the touch screen, the NFC capability,
The Bitcoin bonus?
Oh yeah, can't forget about that. But it's also expensive, and the storage space is limited.
Right. So it's all about trade-offs, I guess.
It is. And it really depends on, what you're looking for in a hardware wallet.
What are your priorities?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you value convenience and user experience above all else, then the Flex might be a good choice.
Especially with those December deals.
Yeah, for sure. But if you're on a tighter budget, or if you need to store a lot of different assets,
The Nano X might still be the better option.
yeah, I think so. Or even the Nano S Plus, that's a good entry-level device.
Right. And it's significantly cheaper.
Much cheaper. So yeah, it really comes down to your individual needs and preferences.
Okay, so no easy answers then.
Not really, no. But hey, that's what makes this stuff interesting, right?
True. All right, so let's move on to user reviews. What are people saying about the Flex out in the wild?
Well, a lot of the early adopters seem to be really happy with it, especially the touch screen.
Makes sense. We all love our touch screens.
Exactly. They're saying it's really intuitive and easy to use.
Compared to fumbling around with buttons.
Exactly. But there are some complaints about the limited app storage.
Yeah, that keeps coming up.
It does. People are saying it's a real pain point, especially if you have a diverse portfolio.
So it sounds like Ledger might be targeting a more specific audience with the Flex.
Maybe, yeah. People who are new to crypto and just want something simple and secure.
Or maybe people who are really into Bitcoin and don't really care about altcoins.
Sure. Could be. But yeah, the limited storage is definitely something to keep in mind.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. How does the Flex compare to other hardware wallets on the market?
Well, when it comes to touchscreen wallets, it's definitely leading the pack.
Most other wallets are still stuck in the button age.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But there are other premium wallets out there, like the Trezor Model T.
Right, which has its own strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. So it's not like the Flex is the only option.
Right. It's all about finding the wallet that fits your needs.
And your budget.
Yeah, of course. But what's really interesting to me is that the emergence of wallets like the Flex shows how the hardware wallet market is evolving.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, it's not just about security anymore.
It's about user experience, too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
People want wallets that are not only secure, but also easy to use and aesthetically pleasing.
Makes sense. I mean, we all want our gadgets to look good, right?
Exactly. So the days of those clunky button-only wallets might be numbered.
Maybe. But I think there will always be a market for minimalist, security-focused devices.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. Touchscreens, security, storage, price, NFC.
User reviews, comparisons to other wallets.
It's been a pretty thorough deep dive.
It has. But before we wrap things up, I think it's important to take a step back and remind ourselves why hardware wallets are so important in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're essential for anyone who's serious about protecting their crypto.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about control. Yeah.
Exactly. When you store your crypto on an exchange or a software wallet, you're trusting someone else with your keys.
And that's always a risk.
It is. It is. You never know when an exchange might get hacked or go bankrupt.
Or when a government might decide to seize your assets.
Right. So with a hardware wallet, you're in control.
You hold the keys.
Exactly. And your keys are stored offline, so they're much less vulnerable to attack.
It's like having a personal vault for your crypto.
That's a good analogy. So yeah, if you're serious about crypto, a hardware wallet it's a must-have.
Okay, so we've established that hardware wallets are important. But with so many different options on the market, how do you choose the right one?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
It is. But I think the most important thing is to do your research.
Absolutely. Read reviews, compare features, think about your own needs and preferences.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, there are plenty of resources out there, like online forums and communities.
Exactly. And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. The best hardware wallet for you might not be the best hardware wallet for someone else.
So take your time, weigh your options, and choose the device that gives you peace of mind.
Okay, so what are the key takeaways from today's deep dive?
Well, I think the Ledger Flex is it's definitely a game changer in terms of design and user experience.
Yeah. That touchscreen is it's a big step forward.
But it's also important to be aware of the potential risks.
Like the limited app storage.
And the fact that touchscreen devices are inherently more vulnerable to attack.
Right. So it's all about weighing those factors against the benefits.
Exactly. And ultimately, the decision of whether or not to buy a Ledger Flex is, it's a personal one.
It is. There's no right or wrong answer.
So do your research, consider your needs, and make the choice that's right for you.
Well said.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Sounds good to me.
So thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and keep on hodling. All right, so we've talked about what we think, what the experts think, but what about like the average everyday crypto person? What are they saying about the Ledger Flex?
Yeah, there are tons of user reviews popping up online.
Oh, really?
Right.
And what's the general consensus?
It seems like a lot of early adopters are pretty happy with it. Yeah.
Especially that touch screen,
Oh, of course.
They're saying it makes the whole experience a lot smoother and more intuitive,
Like using like a smartphone or something.
Yeah, exactly. But there are some recurring complaints.
Oh, like what?
That limited app storage, that's a big one.
Ah, yeah, that 10 app limit.
Right. People are saying it's a real pain, especially if you're holding a lot of different crypto assets.
Yeah, I can see how that would get annoying, having to constantly uninstall and reinstall apps.
Right. Exactly. It's not ideal if you're a power user with a diverse portfolio.
So it sounds like maybe the Flex isn't really designed for those types of users?
Maybe not. It seems like Ledger might be targeting a different audience with this one.
Like who?
Maybe people who are new to crypto,
Okay, so they're prioritizing simplicity and user friendliness over advanced features. Yeah, something like that. Or maybe they're just betting on the fact that most people don't actually use that many different cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right, so let's talk about the big picture for a second. How does the Flex stack up against like all the other hardware wallets out there?
Well, when it comes to touchscreen wallets, it's definitely up there. I mean, most of the competition is still using buttons and tiny screens.
It's true. But what about those other premium wallets, like the Trezor Model T, for example?
Yeah, the Model T is it's a solid device.
It is, and it's got that open source software which some people really value.
Right, and it's been around for a while, so it's got a proven track record.
So it's like choosing between a brand new sports car and a classic muscle car.
I like that analogy.
They both have their pros and cons.
Exactly. It really comes down to personal preference.
And budget, of course.
Oh yeah, definitely. But no matter which wallet you choose, the most important thing is to use it properly.
Right, to follow those security best practices.
Exactly. Generate your seed phrase offline, keep it safe, be wary of phishing scams.
And make sure your device's firmware is always up to date.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think we can all agree that the Ledger Flex is a pretty impressive piece of hardware.
It is. That touchscreen is it's a real game changer.
but it's not perfect.
No devices.
The limited app storage is it's definitely a drawback for some users.
And there are those security concerns that come with any touchscreen device.
Right. So it's all about weighing the pros and cons
and deciding if the Flex is the right fit for your individual needs.
Exactly. And hey, even if you decide to stick with your Nano X or go with a different wallet altogether.
You hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought.
Absolutely. So until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and keep on exploring the amazing world of crypto.
See you next time.